Hi everyone, welcome to the second webinar of a series of webinars conducted by TCS in lieu of the upcoming SCS or Strategic Case Study examinations happening in November 2022. My name is Nick and I'm the lead tutor and evaluator for SCS at TCS. So first things first, let's look at the session outcomes for tonight. So we are looking at an industry analysis and I'll be moving on to where I'll be highlighting, I'll be moving on to the second part where I'll be highlighting how to apply pre-seen information in your answer. Especially this is of utmost importance. You are at the last stage of your CIMA career, and on top of that, as a senior finance manager, you are supposed to play the role of a senior finance manager, and as a senior finance manager you need to have a good understanding about the internal dynamics of the company as well as the industry dynamics, and you need to bring in a lot of information from the pre-scene. Okay, so you need to know how to do this properly, so I'll be highlighting that part. And as the third and the final part of tonight's session, I'll be conducting a pre-scene analysis. Please be mindful, we usually break down the pre-scene into four main areas. I'm just doing one part of the pre-scene analysis. If you want to get your hands on the entire pre-scene analysis, which consists of four different videos, then you would have to invest on paid content. So first things first, let me remind you about the webinars, the schedule of the webinars. So we had the first webinar last Friday, and if by any chance you missed out on it, please go to our website, and the recorded version of the webinar can be found under the free content. And today or tonight's webinar is happening right now, pre-scene analysis, and the next webinar is happening on next Sunday, the 16th of October. This is again an extremely important webinar because I'll be highlighting how to develop answer plans, and based on these answer plans, you would gain an understanding about how to come up with high quality answers, because usually what I've seen is most students, right after reading the question, they start typing the answer. The CIMA examiner actually wants us not to do it. Instead, the CIMA examiner wants you to spend some time to think and come up with a proper answer. So that's exactly what I'm going to highlight in my next webinar. I'll be highlighting how to structure your answers appropriately, and how to type your answers, how much of time needs to be allocated towards typing your answers, and on top of that, how to manage your time in an overall sense, because as you know, any CIMA case study exam is a time pressured exam, and there's exam stress as well. So you need to manage these things appropriately. So if you stick to our answering technique, you would find it extremely easy to provide complete answers, because if you provide answers which are incomplete, your chances of passing the exam is extremely low, especially since you are at the last stage of your CIMA studies. Because if you clear this hurdle, you will be known as a management accountant. You will become a management accountant. So the examiner is trying to figure out whether you possess the capabilities to become a management accountant. So if you provide answers which are not complete or incomplete answers, you will not pass the exam. So in order to provide complete answers, in order to provide high quality answers, you need to practice some technique, and that's exactly what we are going to highlight in the next webinar. So please attend the next webinar. That's going to be extremely important for you guys. And the fourth webinar is happening on the 29th of October, which is a Saturday, where I'll be highlighting about how to build confidence both before the exam, and on top of that, what you need to do to maintain the same level of confidence at the exam as well. Okay, so having said that, let's look at the 6-week study plan. So I highlighted what this is about in my previous webinar, the first webinar. So please go through it, if go through the recorded version if you missed out on it. So we are in week number 1, which starts from today, the 8th of October. And I've given you some activities to be fulfilled or conducted from the 8th of October to the 15th of October. So you are supposed to attend the webinar. That's exactly what you are doing right now. And read the annotated pre-scene, watch the pre-scene analysis videos. As I highlighted, there are 4 videos in total. You are supposed to watch all 4 videos. Refer to financial analysis slides, industry analysis slides, top 20 issues slides, and the SCS familiarization kit. Okay, so you might think that there's a lot to be done within the first week itself. Not exactly, because if you really think about it, when it comes to reading the annotated pre-scene, you'd need something like just 2 hours, nothing more than that, because our annotated pre-scene is extremely easily understandable. It's summarized, so we have highlighted only the main points which you need to remember, so you can cover the entire pre-scene and grasp a good understanding about it within an hour or 2. Okay, so the maximum time allocation for this is 2 hours. Then you are supposed to watch the pre-scene analysis videos. The combined timing of the 4 videos comes up to something like 4 hours or 6 hours. Okay, and referring to the financial analysis, industry analysis, and top 20 issue slides, the combined time allocation should be just 1 hour. And referring to the SCS familiarization kit, you would have to spend something like 15 minutes. So all in all, within the first week of your studies, you would have to allocate something like 9 hours or 10 hours to complete all these requirements. And you have ample time, even if you allocate just 1 hour per day. And maybe towards the weekends, if you can allocate 2 hours, then you can fulfill all the requirements which are highlighted within the first week. Don't wait until the last 2 weeks or the last week. Start right now, because if you do, then you would have enough time to prepare yourself or do all these activities which I've highlighted. And in such a context, you'll end up attempting 5 mock exams, receiving feedback for all 5 mock exams, and you would have enough time to re-attempt these mocks if you feel that you need to significantly improve the quality of your answers, or if you want to work on your answer planning technique, or if you want to revisit syllabus areas. All these things, you'd have enough time to carry out all these activities if you stick to the study plan. So I urge you guys to start studies or preparations from tomorrow onwards. Okay, so pre-scene application, what is the right approach? First things first, you need to know your key information. So I've given you an example. Hottayr manufactures boilers and air source heat pumps. So likewise, you need to have a good understanding about what happens within the company, the internal dynamics of the company. Why? Because you are playing the role of a senior finance manager. You are involved directly with long-term decision making or strategy formulation initiatives which are carried out within the company. You are directly reporting to the CFO, the Chief Financial Officer. So in such a context, if you lack a good understanding about the internal dynamics, you are not in a position to be involved with long-term decision making. You are not in a position to provide recommendations to your board members if you are unaware about the internal dynamics of the company. So you need to know your key information, especially talking about the internal dynamics of the company. And on top of that, you need to have a good understanding about the industry dynamics as well, because at the SCS level, since you are directly reporting to the board members are involved with long-term decision making, and there is an outside-in approach when it comes to long-term decision making. So the board members are always looking at what happens within the industry, what the competitors are up to, what type of customer needs are there. They are trying to figure out whether the customer needs are changing, whether we are in a position as a company to influence customer needs in the future. They are trying to figure out how the suppliers are, carrying out their activities, whether they are adding value. So in all these aspects, they are not really concerned about the internal dynamics of the company. The board members are looking at the external stakeholders, how the external environment is going to affect the internal dynamics of the company. So in such a context, you need to have a good understanding about the industry as well. So, when you were doing your OCS or MCS exams, you were not supposed to have a good understanding about the internal dynamics or the industry dynamics. But at this stage, you need to be really conversant with internal dynamics and industry dynamics. Why? Because you are directly reporting to the CFO. And on top of that, you will be providing recommendations to any board member. Okay, so please be mindful about these things. And ratio analysis, you need to remember the key ratios. Again, especially you are at the strategic level, you need to be extremely conversant about the different types of ratios, and on top of that, about the profitability of the company, about the type of financial activities carried out by the company, the gearing ratio, the liquidity ratios, and all these things. So we've made your life easier because we provide a set of financial analysis slides which summarize all this information. We have conducted horizontal analysis based on the provided financial statements, and on top of that, conducted a ratio analysis. And we have also conducted the same thing based on the financial statements of the closest competitor. So you would gain a good understanding about these things, and all these slides are prepared in an understandable and it's in an easy to remember format. So your life would be easier. And on top of that, out of the 4 Preseen analysis videos, 1 is focused on the financial analysis, and I have carried out an in-depth analysis based on the financial statements of Hottayr and its closest competitor. So this is easy. You just need to watch the video and go through the financial analysis slides. And when it comes to knowing your key information, we've made your life easy again, because we are providing something called an annotated Preseen, which you would see in a moment. Then you'd understand what I'm talking about. Then you'd understand why I'm saying that it's easy for you to remember the key information pertaining to the internal dynamics as well as the industry dynamics highlighted within the Preseen. And you are supposed to prepare for possible scenarios, but be open-minded. So within our 5 exam standard mocks, we have highlighted different types of scenarios covering the entire syllabus pertaining to E3, P3, and F3. And all in all, we have generalized all these scenarios into 20 different scenarios, and these are highlighted within our top 20 issue slides as well. So we have highlighted 20 scenarios, but you have to be open-minded because anything can be tested at the exam. Okay, so we are providing some type of guidance pertaining to how theoretical content can be tested. We have covered all syllabus areas. However, just because you know theory, just because you have done mocks, if you do not walk into the examination with an open mind, you can't gain good marks, because you are not supposed to memorize any answers, especially at a CIMA case study, because the examiner is trying to replicate a real life corporate environment. So in a real life corporate environment, you can't, first things first, you can't predict anything. If you really think about it, you can't memorize anything, because in a real life corporate environment, you can't predict what's going to happen, and you can't memorize, or you wouldn't have seen that problem earlier. So that's the exact same scenario you would face at the exam. So prepare for possible scenarios, but you have to be open-minded. And remember that the scenario presented in the exam carries the latest information. So through the Preseen document, the examiner is giving you an indication about what has happened within the company in the past. However, when you walk into the exam, the scenarios presented will carry the latest information about what's happening within the company or some type of a problem which is affecting the company. Okay, so by going through the 5 mock exams, you'd understand what type of questions will be thrown at you, how your knowledge pertaining to theoretical contents are tested, and what type of application needs to be displayed, how to apply this knowledge, or what type of application needs to be displayed when providing answers at your exam. So how to refer to Preseen information in your answers. You are supposed to refer or cite Preseen information in such a way that it adds value to the point you are presenting in the answer. So as I told you earlier, you need to be really conversant with the internal dynamics and the industry dynamics. And whenever you are providing an answer, you have to relate to the company, the internal dynamics of the company or the industry dynamics. Then you can gain additional marks, because then the invigilator or the examiner would know that you are really conversant with the information which appears in the Preseen. However, just because you are supposed to bring in information from the Preseen, you are not supposed to provide general answers which are not relevant to the requirement. So any type of any point or any type of information which you are bringing in from the Preseen needs to be relevant to the requirement or the question at hand. Refrain from providing generalized information. And how can you figure out whether the information which you are bringing in adds value to the answer or not? Try to see whether the information has some connection to the question or the scenario or the issue which is highlighted within the task. Okay, if that is the case, you are always welcome to bring in information. For instance, if there is a question about corporate governance, then you have to say, based on what is highlighted in the scenario, how whether we have breached any corporate governance regulation or whether we need to improve in a certain area. Whilst talking about these things, whilst covering all the problems which are highlighted in the question, you can bring in information from the Preseen, because according to this time's Preseen, there is some type of a problem within the board, because the non-executive chairman is in the audit committee. According to corporate governance regulations, that should not be the case. So if there's a corporate governance related question, you can bring that in. If you look at this time's risk report, cybersecurity risk has not been considered. So if there is some question about internal controls, or if there's some type of a question pertaining to operational risks or reputational risks, or what type of any type of risk related question, then you can stipulate, if you when we go through the risk report of the company, cybersecurity risk has not been highlighted, so that is a flaw which can be seen within the company. So something like that. As long as you have to bring in information, as long as it is relevant to the requirement at hand, and do not force it in to show the marker that you have studied the Preseen. As I told you earlier, just providing general information in your answers won't get you any marks, because the information which you bring in from the Preseen needs to be relevant to the question, needs to add value to your answer. Just because you bring in some information, you won't gain any marks. So in order to further understand how to do this, or to understand this in a practical manner, you are supposed to attend webinar number 3, which is happening next week. In that, I'll be taking you through an answer. I'll based on the mini mock which we have prepared, I'll be explaining a question, and based on the question, I'll be highlighting, practically showing you guys how to develop an answer plan. And when developing the answer plan, I'll also talk about what type of how you are supposed to bring in information from the Preseen so that you end up adding value to the answer which you have provided. So you are supposed to attend the webinar, and by referring to the suggested answers of all 5 mock exams, you will be in a position to figure out how to refer to Preseen information in your answers in a way that you end up gaining marks, or in a way that this information adds value to your answer. All right, so let's look at the study plan for E3, F3, and P3. This is extremely important for students who are coming through an exemption route, such as the Finance Leadership Program or the FLP route. Okay, so be prepared for application of theories and concepts. So if you are coming through an exemption route, you might not be too conversant with the syllabus content, especially F3 and P3. So if you are coming through an exemption route, and if you have done a if you have done a degree or a master's program, most concepts which are covered under E3, you might be aware about most concepts which are covered under E3, but F3 and P3 has specific syllabus areas which are focused on risk and finance, which are specialized on risk and finance. So if you do not know these two syllabus contents, if you had not gone through these theories pertaining to these F3 and P3 areas, then your chances of passing the exam is again low. So I would suggest, if you are coming through an exemption route, at least you need to go through this syllabus content. Even if you had done a master's program, you need to know E3 and how to apply E3 related knowledge. Just because you know your theory, you won't end up passing the exam, because you can't provide theoretical answers. When you are doing an assignment, when you are preparing an assignment, you can bring in a lot of theory, but this is a professional qualification, so you can't write a lot of theory. Instead, you have to have an understanding about how to apply these theories and concepts in your answer. So prepare for application of theories and concepts, and prepare for interpretation of figures and numbers. At this exam, you will not have to do any calculations. Instead, all the numbers and the figures will be provided as part of the reference material or as part of the question. You are supposed to interpret these figures and numbers. Okay, so you'd understand how to do this by going through our mock exams. And when preparing for any with your examination, or when preparing for the SCS exam, for that matter, you're not supposed to skip any topics which fall under E3, F3, and P3, because any syllabus area can be tested. A higher amount of weightage is provided for E3 because it has everything. The syllabus content has everything to do with strategic decision making. However, F3 and P3, any area from F3 and P3 can be tested as well. So you need to be really conversant with all 3 syllabus areas, and do not rely on any predictions, because any area can be examined. I've seen so many tutors out there predicting the type of questions which might be thrown at you. You can't predict anything. Why? Because in a real life corporate environment, you can't predict anything. And the examiner is trying to replicate a real life corporate environment. So in such a context, it's better to walk into the exam with an open mind, rather than trying to memorize, or rather than trying to remember predictions and having a set of answers in your mind, predetermined answers in your mind. That's not gonna be helpful at the real exam. Okay, so having said that, let's move on to the Preseen analysis. Before I do that, let me take you through the industry analysis slides which we have prepared. So I'm not going to take you through the entire document, because you'd have to purchase all the information which appears in this set of slides under the paid content. I'm just going to take you to slide number 4 and slide number 9. So first things first, let me highlight the market definition. I posted the Preseen yesterday on our WhatsApp group, and I saw that a lot of people were confused as to what this company is about, what this industry is about. So let me define what this market is. This time's Preseen is based on the domestic central heating system market. Okay, so the product which this company is into is they are into manufacturing domestic central heating systems. Okay, so what are domestic central heating systems? These are different means of heating spaces using a variety of fuels and heating systems. Yeah, so these are the products which would enable you to heat a certain space. It could be an office or a domestic setting. Okay, and these are designed to heat the entire home. So usually you find these type of central heating systems in Europe and some parts of America, because since there is a colder period within these countries, you need domestic heating systems in place. Okay, and they generate heat by transforming the chemical energy in fuel into thermal energy and transferring that energy to air, water, or steam, which then gets delivered throughout the building. So that's the technicality behind how they generate heat. You need not remember this. Okay, so they might be using some type of a chemical energy, or they might be using some type of fuel and converting it into thermal energy. And this thermal energy is delivered throughout the building, so that you keep the entire building or a living space warm during winter. Okay, so that's exactly what this industry is about. And what type of heaters are there? There are radiation systems which are known as boilers. That's exactly what you can see here. Okay, where you store a lot of water within this boiler, and gas is used as a fuel to heat up the water, and the vapor or the thermal energy is delivered throughout the building using a set of pipes. Okay, so that's one system, radiation system, boilers. And you might have seen radiators. You might be using radiators at your home as well, which helps you keep warm during winter. And hot air furnaces are there. Okay, district heating, in certain parts of the world you get district heating as well. This is provided by government. Okay, by a certain government, a local government. Okay, so that's district heating. Information pertaining to district heating has been provided in your Preseen, so please go through that. And there are heat pumps as well. Heat pumps are known to be eco-friendly, but they have a refrigerant, a liquid called refrigerant, which is harmful. You need to dispose it or properly, or else it contributes towards harmful greenhouse gas emissions. And most governments are against these refrigerants. They are really keen to know how companies dispose of these refrigerants, because most European as well as American government, as well as most European countries, they have something called the net zero goal. All these countries are trying to achieve zero emissions by 2035, 2040, or 2050, because they have signed the Paris Climate Agreement. So as per these initiatives carried out by the governments, they are really concerned about the refrigerants, the HFCs emitted by the heat pumps. And on top of that, if you look at the other type of heaters, it results in carbon emissions. So the demand for these heaters, the boilers, hot air furnaces, and district heating will decrease in the future. The demand for heat pumps are increasing. However, you need to be concerned about the HFCs, which are used within these heat pumps. When you are disposing these heat pumps, you need to dispose the HFCs appropriately. All this information is provided in the Preseen. So if you get your hands on our annotated Preseen, you'd easily understand what I'm talking about. And in our industry analysis video, I've highlighted all these points in depth. in an easily understandable manner. So that's the market definition. Hope you guys understood what this market is about. Hope you guys are not confused anymore. And I'm going to take you to slide number 9, where I've highlighted the industry trends. There is a rising demand for energy efficient solutions. Why are customers looking for energy efficiency? Because especially the Gen Z customers are looking for energy efficiency. Okay, they are looking for reduced costs in operations. However, installation costs are high due to the quality. So if you install a high quality domestic heating product or a domestic heating system, then the installation costs are going to be high. So that's pretty basic, because when the quality is high, the product's cost is going to be higher. However, if you install a high quality heating product within your home, it results in reduced costs in operations. So most of the manufacturers, when you consider the heating market, most of the manufacturers try to achieve the utmost levels of efficiency, thereby trying to reduce costs of operations, and these benefits are shared with customers via reduced prices in operations. So the installation cost, what you need to remember is, if you get a high quality energy efficient heating product, the installation costs are going to be high, but the costs with regards to operations are going to be low. And there's going to be a rising demand for environmentally friendly solutions, because there's a growing awareness about climate change, especially in the American region as well as in Europe. So because of that, the customers, especially Gen Z customers, are extremely concerned about the carbon emissions as well as greenhouse gas emissions pertaining to these heating products, because whenever there is heating involved, then there are carbon emissions. So Gen Z customers are always pushing for environmentally friendly solutions, and the governments are pushing for this as well because of their net zero goals. Most governments are trying to achieve a level of net zero emissions by 2035, 2040, or 2050. Okay, and there are stricter regulations on emissions. These are the type of regulations which you'd see normally within the industry to keep track of the level of emissions. So there's HSPF levels and SEER ratings coming into the picture. HSPF stands for High Heating Seasonal Performance Factor. So the governments keep track of the HSPF to figure out whether these heating products are energy efficient or not, whether they are emitting too much carbon emissions to the atmosphere. All right. So that's there, and there's SEER ratings, especially used in the USA, which is seasonal energy efficiency ratio. Again, something akin to HSPF. HSPF ratings are looked into by the European governments, and when it comes to the USA, they are looking at SEER ratings, and they are always trying to reduce emissions and increase efficiency. And there's a lot of innovation happening within the industry with regards to any energy efficiency and low carbon emissions, because that's exactly what the governments are asking for. That's exactly what the customers are asking for. And companies try to drive down production and installation costs, especially when it comes to heat pumps. So out of the main type of product categories which are used to heat up a domestic setting, heat pumps are considered to be the most environmentally friendly, okay, when it comes to usage, because their carbon emissions are extremely low compared to traditional combustion boilers. Okay, so although that is the case, as I told you earlier, production and installation costs of these heat pumps are extremely high. So the manufacturers are trying to get the costs down, get production and installation costs down, so that it results in customers purchasing their products, customers investing on their products. Okay, and there are smart temperature controls as well. this is a scenario where you can control the temperature of a heating product via a smartphone. So this leads to a high level of efficiency, energy efficiency again. And on top of that, some heating products have smart technology inculcated in them, so that the heating product can keep track of comfortable temperature levels and change temperature levels as and when needed. So there's a lot of energy efficiency achieved through smart temperature controlled heating products. And there's innovation pertaining to the longevity of products as well, because if you can use a heating product for a longer period of time, it provides additional benefits to the user. And on top of that, it's going to be environmentally friendly. There won't be any the emissions in production will decrease if a certain heating product, for instance, if a heating product such as a heat pump, in the good olden days, if you used a heat pump for 10 years, but now if you can use the same type of a heat pump, a better heat pump for 15 years, then that's providing longevity. So the carbon emissions in production will decrease significantly. It would be spread across 15 years rather than 10 years. And on top of that, customers would love to invest on such a product which can be used for a longer period of time. So these are the type of trends you would see within the industry. So having said that, let's go to the let's go towards the pre-scene to start the pre-scene analysis. Before I do that, any questions, folks? Do you guys have any questions pertaining to what I highlighted right now? If that is the case, you can switch on your mics and talk, or simply jot down your question in the chat section. Okay, since there aren't any questions, I'm gonna start with the pre-scene analysis. So first things first, we are looking at a company which is named Hottayr, and the entire pre-scene is based on this company, and your exam is based on this company as well. So as you can see, I've provided notations, thereby summarizing all the information which appears within the pre-scene document, which makes your life easier. You can easily remember the key points. And on top of that, I've also highlighted possible exam scenarios and possible syllabus areas which are highlighted in the pre-scene. So let's look at the company information. The company was established 70 years ago. This is a significant strength. Why? Because you can always use it for marketing. Customers would love to purchase from a company which was there in the market for a long period of time. And on top of that, since this company has been in operation for the past 70 years, it benefits the company as well, because the company has an extensive level of industry knowledge. And given this knowledge you have gained by operating within the industry for 7 decades, you are in a position to understand the exact needs of customers. And on top of that, you would be in a position to easily spot trends within the market. And since you have been operating for the past 70 years within the industry, the company might be in a position to influence industry dynamics or influence customer demand as well. So all these things are significant strengths. The company was quoted in the stock exchange 55 years ago. Again, a significant strength, because you can use it whenever you are trying to show your market dominance. You can always highlight the fact that you have been quoted in the stock exchange for the past 55 years. And because of this fact, you can easily raise debt finance, because you can easily get a loan from a bank, given your reputation as a quoted company for the past 55 years. And on top of that, you can easily raise equity finance as well. It's easy to attract investors when you have been operating within the stock market for the past 55 years, for over 5 decades. And the company Hottyar was one of the first entrants to the market. So when you look at the heating market, domestic heating market within this country. The company Hottyar was the first entrant, which is again a strength. You can use it for marketing purposes. You can keep customers reminded about the fact that Hottyar moved into the market first. That can offer significant reputational benefits. And by the 1970s, Hottyar was the largest maker of gas boilers and has started exporting. So you can see the company has strengths, and on top of that, the company has, since inception, the company has been exploiting opportunities. So these guys started their operations in 1952, and by 1970s they had become the largest maker of gas boilers within the country. And they have not just sold their produce within the country, they have started exporting as well. So you can see they were the first entrant to the market. Over a period of time, they became the largest maker of gas boilers, and they did not stop there. They started exporting their produce as well. Okay, and exports are to countries in close vicinity to Norland. This company is based in a country called Norland. So these guys are exporting to countries which are in close vicinity to their own. So this highlights a possible exam scenario with regards to a global expansion. So since these countries are in close vicinity, why not set up our own manufacturing plant there rather than simply exporting? Because if we do that, then it opens up so much of demand for us rather than simply exporting. If we can start manufacturing, then we can create jobs, and on top of that, we can achieve manufacturing related economies of scale. There won't be logistics related costs, so we can sell our products to a larger market at and which products which are priced lesser because of the cost efficiencies achieved by operating or manufacturing or starting a manufacturing facility within another country. So if that is the case, if there is a global expansion, it exposes Hottyar to country, legal, and foreign exchange risk. Definitely, if that is the case, there will be country risk, legal risks, as well as foreign exchange risks. So let's look at product development. So as I highlighted earlier, this company is involved with manufacturing two main types of heating products, gas boilers and heat pumps. Although there are several different alternatives when it comes to heating products, this company only focuses on two types, gas boilers and heat pumps. So let's first look at what these guys are up to with regards to manufacturing of gas boilers. So when it comes to product development of gas boilers, they try to achieve three different things. Okay, please remember these things. They are looking to achieve safety, reliability, and efficiency. And whenever you are providing an answer, if the answer talks about, for instance, the reputation of the company, always mention that their reputation is built on safety, reliability, and efficiency. There could be a question on reputational risks. I've included one such question in mock number 3. So in that, when providing the answer, first things first, you have to talk about, before talking about the reputational risks, you have to talk about the type of reputation the company has generated and based on what the reputation of the company is driven. So the reputation of the company is driven on these three premises: safety, reliability, and efficiency. So with regards to safety, let's try to figure out what these guys are up to. They have a policy of exceeding safety standards. So that's something extremely good to have. So they do not just adhere to the safety standards, they always exceed it. So this shows that they are trying to be the best within the industry. So when a government comes up with a safety standard, any company tries to adhere to it. But Hottayr tries to exceed safety standards. So that's why they were the first company to receive a safety award. So Hottayr was the first company within Norland to achieve a safety award. Why? Because they are focused on exceeding safety standards. That's a significant strength, and their reputation is thus based on safety. So that's the first part. Second part is reliability. They are trying to achieve a greater level of reliability. And how are they achieving it? They were the first to offer a 10-year warranty within the country. And although they are providing a 10-year warranty, their boilers last for 15 years, and well-maintained hot air boilers rarely break down. So I said, when I was conducting the industry analysis, I talked about longevity. I said, when I was talking about industry trends, I said that the customers are looking for longevity. So because of that, the manufacturers are trying to offer longevity as well. So that's exactly what Hottayr is providing. They are providing a 10-year warranty, but if you maintain hot air boilers, and if you keep it well maintained, it rarely breaks down. And even though these companies offering a 10-year warranty, you can use it for 15 years. So the company is offering a high level of reliability, and on top of that, they are offering efficiency as well. And again, when I was talking about the industry dynamics or the industry trends, I said that the customers are looking for a high level of efficiency. I said that the governments are looking for a high level of efficiency when it comes to the heating industry. That's exactly what Hottayr is providing. Their boilers use less gas, they are cheaper to run, and they are eco-friendly. So they are achieving three things. They use less gas, because of that they are cheaper to operate, and on top of that they are eco-friendly. And because and on top of that, they own several efficiency based patents. So holding a patent is holding a patent, sorry about that, holding a patent is no easy task. Okay, so this shows that the company is hell-bent on spending a lot of money on research and development. Okay, and because of that, the company has benefited from it. That's exactly why these guys are well known to be efficient. Okay, so their reputation is driven by three factors: safety, reliability, and efficiency. And their gas boiler factory is located in Norland's central city, and it employs 3,800 staff members, and most of these staff members are engaged in quality control. And although they are using employees for quality control, the entire production facility is mostly automated. So this shows that the company is headed in the correct track. A question pops up in my mind as to whether we can automate quality control as well, because in this day and age, you get robots or sensors or AI-backed robots which carry out quality control operations. So you have a better chance of controlling quality. So I've highlighted this fact in mock number 2. In one of the questions, I've mentioned about automating quality control, and in such a context, it would surely result in redundancies. And I've highlighted a question as to how we can face these redundancies or handle these redundancies in the most ethical manner. All right, so that's everything about gas boilers. Then let's move on to heat pumps. Heat pump manufacturing commenced 25 years ago. So when it comes to heating products, gas boilers were there for a long period of time. So since the 1970s, Hottayr has been manufacturing gas boilers, but heat pumps were introduced to the market just 25 years ago. Okay, so you can see how the industry has developed over a period of time. Okay, and these points are highlighted in the industry dynamics, which are mentioned within the Preseen document. I'm not going to talk about these things because this information is covered on a separate video. So when you look at heat pumps, Hottayr commenced manufacturing heat pumps 25 years ago, and Hottayr was the first mover even when demand was low. So when these guys moved into the market 25 years ago, the demand for heat pumps was low. Still, these guys were hell-bent on appearing innovative in the eyes of the customers. They wanted to pursue related diversification without thinking too much about it, even when the demand was low. Okay, so that's probably these guys did it to achieve the first mover advantage, and on top of that, since this company believes in innovation, they pursued this strategy. And demand is increasing due to emissions concerns. So this, I would say, 25 years back, the leadership or the type of directors within the companies can be considered to be visionaries. There was visionary leadership within the company. That's exactly why these leaders who were there 25 years ago, they predicted a situation where the customers are going to think about emissions, the customers are going to think about the efficiency of the heating products. So that's exactly why they started manufacturing heat pumps, although the demand was low 25 years back. But now the demand is increasing due to emission concerns, because nowadays customers, especially Gen Z customers, are concerned about emissions, global warming, climate change, and whatnot. So in such a context, the demand for heat pumps are increasing. So we can see from the inception, the company has been exploiting opportunities, and that's exactly what the company will be doing in the future as well. And they are manufacturing air source heat pumps, because when you consider heat pumps, there are two different product categories. One is an air source heat pump, and the other is a ground source heat pump. I'm not going to talk about the product specifications of these, because these are highlighted in our video pertaining to industry analysis, which comes under paid content. But out of the two product categories under heat pumps, the company only focuses on manufacturing air source heat pumps. And the company believes strongly in customer feedback, and customer feedback is utilized for product development, which is a significant strength again, because any company which listens to their customers would do great in the future. So although these guys had been within the market for the past 70 years, although they have been quoted within the stock exchange for the past 55 years, they have not forgotten about their roots. Their roots are based on listening to their customers, and they are still doing it. That's exactly why they are doing a great job within the market. That's exactly why they are taking risks, when it comes to exploiting opportunities, and they are not, they are not taking undue risks. They are taking calculated risks by listening to their customers, and customer feedback is used for product development. So according to the BCG matrix, gas boilers can be considered to be a cash cow, because gas boilers are still in the market, but the demand for it is going to deplete in the future given the emission concerns. And Hottayr is the market leader when it comes to gas boilers. So they are generating a lot of money right now by selling gas boilers, since they are the market leader. However, in the future, the cash is going to deplete. So as at now, the gas boilers, according to the BCG matrix, can be considered as a cash cow, which falls under the E3 syllabus area. And when it comes to heat pumps, it used to be a child 25 years ago, okay, because you were not, the company started manufacturing heat pumps when the demand was low. So you are not sure about whether the demand is going to increase or decrease, but now the demand is increasing. So in such a context, you will start selling a lot of heat pumps in the future. So in the future, the child might become a star. So that's exactly why that's exactly what I've mentioned in here. Used to be a child, but could be the star, because the demand for gas boilers are decreasing at the moment. Okay, so let's look at the product features pertaining to the heat pumps manufactured by Hottyar. It offers reverse heat flow technology, which enables utility in cold and hot months. So you might be wondering how this occurs, because these heating products are supposed to heat up homes. So how can you, what's the point of heating up your home during a hot time period or during hot months? So there's something called reverse heat flow technology. So you can heat your home whenever it is colder, whenever you are, for instance, let's assume you are in winter, then you are supposed to heat up your homes. But during summer, using the same heat pump, you can air condition your house. You can keep it colder. Why? Because they are offering reverse heat flow technology. So again, so their heat pumps are known as air source heat pumps. So they are getting the energy from the air, and this energy is utilized to keep houses warm during the cold months, and the same energy is utilized to keep homes whenever the homes are or the temperature is too high, they provide air conditioning facilities as well. Why? Because they are using this reverse heat flow technology. So these are extremely efficient. Customers need not utilize two different types of products during the warm and cold periods. You can use one single product offered by Hottayr. Okay. So they are offering reverse heat flow technology, which enables utility in cold and hot months. And heat pumps can be controlled via a smartphone app via Wi-Fi. So you can easily control these heat pumps using a smartphone app. And Hottyar captures the data to track performance and efficiency of heat pumps. So the customers are using a smartphone to control these heat pumps using a smartphone app. And the information which is gathered within the smartphone is accessed by Hottyar to keep track of performance and efficiency of its heat pumps. Okay. And the operating software within pumps are updated automatically by Hottyar via Wi-Fi. So since these heat pumps can be utilized for a long period of time, something like for 15 years, you need to keep upgrading the software within them. So software upgrades are handled automatically by Hottyar. What they do is that they get the permission from customers, and based on that permission, they would keep on updating the software. But this exposes the company to cyber security risk. Why? Because the customers are controlling the heat pumps using Wi-Fi technology, and we are gathering the same data from the smartphone. So you can easily hack a Wi-Fi network in this day and age. So in such a context, will someone gain access into our databases, Hottayar's databases? And if there's a scenario like that, it exposes us to so much of problems. And I've highlighted this point in one of my mocks. If I'm not mistaken, this point is highlighted in mock number 4. So based on that, I've highlighted reputational risks. And this is a major problem because cybersecurity risk is not considered within our risk report. So, that is a major problem within the company. So all these points I've highlighted as part of mock number 4, where I've highlighted cybersecurity risks. Okay. And the hot pump factory is located at Norland Town. It has 2,400 staff members. And the head office is located in Central City, Norland, which employs 2,600 staff members. And looking at the IT department, the IT department is controlled by the chief financial officer. So this is a major problem with regards to control. This exposes us to so much of operational risks because the IT department is headed by the CFO of the company. So I've highlighted why not the CTO, someone like the chief technology officer or a separate IT director. Because if there is some type of an IT related problem, how would the CFO in a position to provide strategic leadership? Why? Because the CFO is not coming from an IT background. The CFO, definitely knows finance. That's why she is the CFO. However, she has only worked in finance and within several manufacturing companies. She has no background in IT. So in such a context, why is she running the IT department? So this shows that there's a flaw within the company. The company is not too concerned about IT or security, data security or data privacy related risks. Definitely, there will be a question highlighting this point because the examiner is throwing a hint at you by stipulating that the IT department is under the CFO who is not from an IT background. And on top of that, cyber security or data security or data privacy risks are not highlighted within the risk report. So the examiner has given you 2 hints. Definitely there's going to be a question, and there's absolutely nothing to worry because I've highlighted this point in one of my mocks. And they run their own data center with the within the head office with remote backup. So that's something good to have, because you can directly control your data without relying on somebody else or some other company. So it's good to have your own data center. And when you run your own data center, it's prudent to have remote backup. That's exactly what the company is doing at the moment. All right, so then let's look at the type of customers the company is selling to. They are involved with B2B sales, business to business sales. They are not selling it to the end customer. The end customer is a homeowner who is going to use a heating product, or who is going to install a heating product within their home. So they are not directly selling to homeowners. Instead, they are selling to energy providers, large house building companies, and builders merchants. So these are the 3 types of customers these guys deal with. Rather than dealing with the end customer, they are dealing with, or they are selling to middlemen. Okay, and who are the middlemen? Energy providers or energy companies, large house building companies which are involved with real estate, or which are involved with constructing houses, and builders merchants. Okay, and this highlights an area pertaining to Porter's diamond related and supporting industries. So we are reliant on these industries to sell. So we need to have a collaborative relationship with them. Actually speaking, it's easier to do business when you are involved with a B2B environment, because you are dealing with another corporate. So you are in a position to better understand them. And when there's a B2B relationship, that's a firm relationship rather than a B2C relationship, because you need to keep track of so many customers. Instead, you just need to handle a limited number of customers when you are involved with a B2B setting. So this is something good to have. It makes your life easier. You need not run behind the customers. Instead, you sell it to middlemen. And homeowners do not drive demand for boilers or heat pumps. So when it comes to the demand for boilers or heat pumps, the demand is not driven by homeowners. Instead, the installers recommend a brand. Who are the installers when it comes to heat pumps? Energy providers, house building companies, and builders merchants. So these guys will recommend a product to the end customers. So when recommending a product or a brand, most recommend Hottyar. Why? Because we are well known for our quality. We have a reputation based on safety. Our products are safe to use. Our products are reliable. Okay, and our products are efficient. Okay, so in such a context, definitely these guys, the energy providers, house builders, and builders merchants will recommend our brand. And what are our standout product features? What gives us competitive advantage? Quality, efficiency, and less noise. Again, the examiner is highlighting another fact pertaining to what drives our reputation or competitive advantage: less noise. Okay, so we are offering quality, efficiency, and less noise. So let's look at the type of rivals we deal with. So there's one rival known as Thermwike. I've made a blunder here, a spelling mistake. Y is missing. So one of the rivals is known as Thermwike. That's the rival which is based in Norland within our own country, and it sells cheaper and less efficient products relative to Hottayr. So we have nothing to worry about these guys because their products are cheaper. Why are their products cheaper? Because they are less efficient. Their quality is comparatively lesser to ours. So in such a context, although their prices are cheaper, we need not worry too much about it, because the energy providers, large house building companies, and builders merchants will always end up recommending our product because our products are of a high level of quality. Okay, so that's our direct competitor based in Norland, and there's another company called Flownice as well, which is based in Eastland, a country which is colder than Norland. And Flownice is the largest manufacturer within the country, within Eastland, just like us, and it exports its boilers. We are involved with exporting our boilers as well, and the quality is similar to that of Hottyar. So when you look at the two rivals, we can relate better to Flownice. However, that company is based in another country. Okay, and both rivals focus extensively on boilers. So as I highlighted earlier, although the demand for boilers is there at the moment, with emission concerns coming into the picture, with governments pursuing their net zero emission goals, the demand is going to drop in the future when it comes to boilers. So both these rivals are should not be giving us too much trouble, because they are still focused on selling boilers, whereas we are focused on selling a lesser number of boilers and increasing sales pertaining to our heat pumps, which are much more efficient, energy efficient, and on top of that, their emissions are extremely low compared to traditional boilers. So I've provided an overall analysis so that you are in a position to better understand about the internal dynamics of the company. Hottayr has a significant set of strengths which drive competitive advantage. So according to Porter's generic strategy, these guys are pursuing a differentiation strategy. Why? They are trying to differentiate themselves from competitors, mainly focus on providing extreme levels of quality. Okay, so that's exactly what the company is doing. So they are using their strengths and exploiting opportunities, thereby achieving a higher level of competitive advantage. And Hottayr has been exploiting opportunities since inception, since 1952. These guys had been, being innovative, always doing something new within the market. They were the first entrant into the market in 1952, and they were the first to win an award based on safety, and they have some patents with regards to efficiency. They have some efficiency based patents, and on top of that, this company was the first to enter the heat pump market 25 years back, even when the demand was extremely low. So they have been exploiting opportunities since inception, another positive aspect of the company, and they have a better understanding of future market dynamics than Thermwijk, their closest competitor. Why? Thermwijk is still selling boilers. They are extensively focused on selling boilers, whereas we are focused on selling much efficient, carbon efficient, and energy efficient products. And the areas tested based on the information highlighted is Porter's generic strategy, E3 related area. Managing stakeholders, definitely there's going to be a question based on managing stakeholders. So in such a context, you need to analyze or provide an analysis based on the level of power and interest of each and every stakeholder, and how to manage these stakeholders, because according to the information provided, it gives us an indication about the needs of the customers, the type of middlemen within the industry, the type of competitors, the government, and whatnot. So definitely there's going to be a question. You would see this this area being covered within our mini mock, which is provided free of charge. Then change management can definitely be tested. Why? Because this company has been exploiting opportunities. So when you are exploiting opportunities, you need to bring about some change within the company. So when you are facing with change, there might be resistance. So you need to have appropriate systems in place to overcome resistance to change or manage change appropriately. So an E3 related syllabus area can be tested. Risk management is definitely tested, a P3 related area. Okay, and Porter's diamond related and supporting industry, I highlighted the facts earlier. And data security, data privacy, and GDPR, E3 and P3 areas will definitely be tested. Why? because data security wise or IT, with regards to the functionality of the IT department, there are so many problems within the company. There's no appropriate strategic leadership, and IT related risks are not highlighted within the risk report. So in such a context, these areas will be definitely tested at the real exam. Okay, so having said that, it brings us to the end of the first part of the Preseen analysis, where we looked at the internal dynamics of the company. Before we proceed further, any questions, guys? Any questions? All right. So until you guys, come up with or raise your concerns or questions, let me take you through the material which you're going to get your hands on. So I was talking about a financial analysis, a set of financial analysis slides based on which I do the fourth video, which falls under the Preseen analysis video. So this is the type of material you would get access to. So this set of financial analysis slides are based on the previous case study. So I conduct a horizontal analysis based on the SOPL, then the statement of financial position. All the main information are highlighted in an easily understandable and in a manner so that you can easily remember them. And the statement of changes in equity is evaluated as well. And at the very end, I provide a ratio analysis, and all these ratios are analyzed in depth, yet the elaborations are kept short as much as possible so that you can easily remember them. And the same type of analysis is carried out pertaining to the competitors' financial statements, the horizontal analysis, and on top of that, a ratio analysis is conducted. And we provide revision cards as well. I said if you're especially coming through the exemption route, you need to gain access to these revision cards because you need to know your theoretical content. So our revision cards are concise, easy to understand, and you can see everything is in bullet form or bullet points so that you can understand all the areas. We are not trying to bombard you with too much information. We are only focusing on the most important information. So that's the type of revision cards you would get your hands on. So let me talk about since there aren't any questions coming through, let me talk about the products which we are offering. It's still loading. Give me a second, please. So I'm going to take you through the our web page. All right. Okay. So you can access the free content, SCS based free content, by clicking on this button. You'd gain access to the recorded versions of all 4 webinars, and on top of that, we are providing a mini mock exam with a suggested answer so that you can better understand what type of questions will be thrown at you and the quality of answers you are supposed to provide at the exam. And we are providing sample material as well. So before you purchase our products, please refer to the sample material and try to figure out what type of material you would be getting your hands on. And we are selling 4 different types of packages. So package number 1 is known as the essential pack. So under the essential pack, you'd have access to the recorded versions of the 4 webinars, 5 mock exams with suggested answers. So as I highlighted earlier, these 5 mock exams are done or developed in a way to cover all syllabus areas pertaining to E3, P3, and F3, so that you won't miss out on any of the syllabus content. And there are Preseen analysis videos, 4 in total. Out of that, only 1 part was done in tonight's webinar, and we are providing an annotated Preseen. You saw what our annotated Preseen looks like, and we are providing industry analysis, financial analysis, and top 10 likely issue slides. This should be taught 20 likely issues, to be honest. And we are offering a case study familiarization kit and access to the online discussion forum, which is our WhatsApp group. And looking at the and the essential pack is priced at £99, and the product is available until the 28th of February 2023. So even if you are planning on doing your exam in February, you can purchase now itself and start preparing for your exam, so that you have a good 4 to 5 months in your hands. And looking at the value pack, this is a package which suits students who are looking for a one-to-one tutor support and mentoring. So if you are extremely comfortable with 100% self-learning, go for the essential pack. If you are disciplined enough to conduct all your studies on your own, if you have aced your OTQ exams, if you're not coming through the exemption route but through the general route, and if you had aced your OTQ exams, then go for the essential pack, because this is all the material which you need to pass. However, if you feel that you need tutor support and mentoring, I urge you to go for the value pack, where you get all the material which comes under the essential pack. On top of that, you will have access to the online mock exam platform. So we provide an mock exam platform where all 5 mocks can be attempted under real exam conditions. We have developed an exam platform which is akin to the Pearson VUE system. So before the exam, before you walk into the real exam, you can get accustomed to real exam conditions. And when attempting mock exams, we highlight the fact that you need to attempt full mock exams, full 3-hour mock exams. So when doing that, it's better to attempt it within our exam platform. It makes your life easier. You are getting accustomed to real life exam conditions. And we are providing professional marking and one-to-one tutor feedback on 3 mocks. Okay, so tutor feedback is provided for 3 mocks. Mocks 3, 4, and 5. I'll show you what type of feedback you'd be getting in a while. And we are providing theory recaps of OTQ syllabus content as well, because especially if you're coming through an exemption route, you need to know your OTQ syllabus content, or else you are not in a position to provide high quality answers at the SCS exam. So it's better to get your hands on the theory recaps pertaining to the OTQ syllabus content. The package is priced at £199. And on top of that, we are offering 2 plus packages this time. And these packages are predominantly focused on students coming through the exemption route, such as the finance leadership program or the FLP route. Okay. So, and on top of that, if you failed the exam previously, then you need to, we urge you to go for a plus package, especially if you got marks lesser than 65. So you would be marked out of 150, and you are supposed to gain 80 marks to pass the exam. But if you ended up getting marks which was lesser than 65 marks, then it shows that you lack an appropriate level of knowledge about theory, as well as how to apply your knowledge, how to apply the theoretical knowledge in your exam. So in such a context, we urge you to go for either of the plus packages. So if you go for the essential plus package, this is a package which suits students who are comfortable with self-learning, yet need guidance to improve the quality of your answers. Okay, so if you feel that you are comfortable with self-learning, but you need some type of help pertaining to quality improvements, then go for the essential pack. So under this, you have access to all study material provided under the essential pack. Plus, you would have 6+ hours of video lectures explaining the answers of mocks 3, 4, and 5. So we do not believe in teaching theory separately pertaining to E3, F3, and P3 areas. Instead, we teach theory via the mock exams. Then you are in a position to understand how to apply these theories in a practical context when writing your answers. Rather than just understanding theories, we are teaching theories. On top of that, we are also highlighting how you are supposed to apply this knowledge in your exam. Okay, so that's why we are providing these video lectures, and this will be a guidance on decrypting mocks and suggested answers. So we will be especially highlighting how to understand the task, how to understand the exact requirement, and based on the exact requirement, what type of answers you are supposed to provide. So this is recommended for students coming through an exemption route such as FLP, or students who had failed the exam previously. So this is priced at £175, and the Value Plus package gives you access to the total CIMA solution. Okay, so you would have access to all study material provided under the Value Pack Plus, 6+ hours of video lectures where we explain mocks 3, 4, and 5, and guidance on decrypting mocks and suggested answers. That is priced at £275. So all 4 packages are available until the 28th of February. So you can invest now itself so that you have enough time to prepare for your exam if you're planning on doing it in February. And if you're not part of our SCS WhatsApp discussion forum, you can simply click on this button and join the WhatsApp group. And let me also show you the type of feedback you would be getting. All right, so yeah, give me a second, please. Still loading. All right. And until it loads, let me remind you about a 10% discount which we are offering. So since you actively attended this webinar, as a thank you gift, we are providing a 10% discount, an SCS early bird offer. So the discount is SCS 10. You can use this discount code in the checkout area. And please remember that the discount code expires on the 21st of October 2022. So the discount is applicable on all 4 of our product categories. So yeah, so this is the type of feedback which we provide to your answers. So as you can see, we have provided feedback to each and every paragraph. Okay, I've highlighted if there are any flaws with formatting. I've highlighted that. If there's some type of a flaw with the quality of your answer, I've highlighted that. And if you have not fulfilled the requirement, I've highlighted as to why you have not fulfilled the requirements of the task and what you need to do to further improve your answers. Okay, all this feedback will be extremely helpful for you to improve your answers or the quality of your answers significantly. And at the very end, what we provide is we provide a mark breakdown so that you are in a position to figure out how you had fared and for with regards to each and every subtask. And at the very end, we will be indicating whether you have passed the exam or failed it. Based on this, you are in a position to understand your shortcomings and improve your answer planning technique. I'll be highlighting how to do it in the next webinar. So after getting feedback from us, if you feel that you need to significantly improve your answers, then you can rework on the mock again and stick to our study plan. If you do, then you would have ample time to attempt a mock exam as well as rework on the mock exam. So although you are supposed to attempt 5 mock exams, if you stick to our study plan, since you would be reworking on the mock exams, it's as if you would be attempting 10 mock exams. That's enough practice for you to excel at your real exam. And at the very end, we provide a set of general comments as well, so that you are in a position to pass the exam easily. A question came through regarding the industry analysis. How much time do we need to spend on research? You need not do any research, because as I highlighted earlier, we have provided a set of industry analysis slides. And if you look at the industry analysis slides, it's based on the real life industry dynamics. So some type of information pertaining to the industry dynamics are provided within the Preseen. So we are providing the annotated pre-scene. So once you go through the annotations, you'd understand the ins and outs of the industry in depth. And on top of that, in order to make sure that you further understand what happens within the real industry, we have provided real information, real market dynamics. We have highlighted the real market dynamics. So by going through it, you are in a position to better understand the industry. And at the very end, we provide um, um, information pertinent to real life companies as well. So you are in a position to figure out the industry dynamics better. So you need not do your research. We have done it for you. You just need to go through the industry analysis video. Out of the 4 pre-scene analysis videos, one is about the industry analysis. Just go through the industry analysis video. Just refer to the industry analysis part of the annotated, which is depicted within the annotated pre-scene, and refer to the industry analysis slides. By doing these 3 activities, you would have all the necessary information about the industry. All right, so if you have any questions, you can raise them now. You can contact us via our website, email, or WhatsApp, and follow us on our social media handles. We have launched a TikTok handle as well, especially via this TikTok handle. Our objective is to summarize the entire pre-scene, and within something like 6 to 7 minutes, you would have 3 videos on your phone covering the entire pre-scene, the most important points which you need to remember pertaining to the pre-scene. So on a daily basis, what you can do is we'll be sharing these videos in the coming weeks. So on a daily basis, what you need to do is just go through the 3 videos. Then you will be constantly reminding yourself about the most important points. We are providing these things free of charge. So you can keep on reminding yourselves, and that's going to be extremely beneficial at the real exam, because you need not do too much to remember the information which is highlighted within the pre-scene. You just need to watch these 3 videos on a continuous basis. So from next Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken, from next Wednesday onwards, we'll be releasing the SCS related TikTok videos. So please follow our TikTok handle. I've not mentioned it in here, but it goes as study at TCS. So follow it, then you'd gain access to these videos, and we'll be sharing these videos on our WhatsApp group as well. All right, so it brings us to the end of tonight's session. Thank you very much for joining in. I hope that you guys will attend the next webinar, which is happening next week. This is an extremely important webinar where I'll be highlighting answer planning and time management technique. And on top of that, by Thursday, you would be getting your results if you attempted your exam in August. And if by any chance, if you failed, it's of utmost importance that you attend the next webinar, because I'll be highlighting common reasons for failure. And for each and every reason, I'll be highlighting mitigatory action, so that you are in a position to overcome these issues when sitting for an exam in November or February next year. So having said that, it brings us to the end of this session. Thank you very much for joining in. I expect that you guys will join next week's webinar as well. See you guys. Good night.